Oh yeah, you hoe bags. Let's cut to the chase. Here's a quick video on how I go about rigging this little piece of kit up in 3ds Max. Just another way to kind of use SplineIKs, dummies, IK solvers, rather than turning it into a dynamic object, and bones and skins and all that good stuff, which we can do, but sometimes you want a bit more control, and we kind of don't need to turn it into a dynamic object. In my world, we call this an end termination head, which docks onto a structure. Then you could kind of think of this in the real world like a power cable or a riser or an umbilical, a power cable coming out of a kettle, you name it. You just have it floating in midair, be held onto a crane, or this would reel right back onto a vessel or a boat or whatever, and be docked under the water. Yes, this is what happens under the water, under the seabed in the oil and gas industry. You can see we've got some bend restrictors here. This is a lifting head. This then docks and does its fancy thing and plugs into a manifold or whatever it's meant to be doing. Anyway, let's cut to the chase. I'll show you a quick way on how to set this main part up. Okay, so blank scene. First thing you kind of want to do, obviously I'm not going to model the whole lot up, but just to make this easier for you guys. Bang in a plane there, keep it simple. Right, we can create some objects. That's going to represent our bend restrictors that we've seen in the previous scene. I don't know, let's not even do this to scale. It's just going to be a quick little rundown on how I do it. Let's make that the front one. Then we'll kind of create a few of these. Yeah. And we'll create that docking head that you kind of seen. You can create any object you want. This could be the kettle, in fact, and this could be the cord with the thick sort of protection rubber that goes around the kind of kettle lead, if you like. You know, let's just roughly place that there, roughly place that there. If you're happy with enough of these, I mean, they could overlap or they can, you know, any shape you kind of want, really. So let's go with that amount, shall we? Okay, so you first want to select all of our cylinders, and we'll go Effect Pivot. And what we're going to do is just make sure these are all kind of aligned actually to world. Then we're gonna, I mean, we could flip these round. In fact, let's just flip these round 180 because our pivot will start at this end of the head. Okay, the second thing we want to do is draw a spline. Yes, a nice little spline. I kind of showed this in a previous tutorial that I did. This will be our SplineIK controller in these. Turn that down there. We'll center that spline to our row of objects. You will be able to see that one end is there and the other end, too long, is there. In fact, let's just hide that for now and hide that for now. Okay, so basic rig here, one end there, one end there. This is going to be your start point. Once we've drawn our SplineIK here, we are then going to, as we usually do, select all the vertexes. I mean, you could have a couple more. If this was, I don't know, 5-10 meters long, then you could add a couple more verts in here, but for the sake of this, we'll just put 2 here, turn these into Beziers. We'll have a Bezier. You can see the controller there. I mean, this is going to determine the smoothness of when these objects kind of bend and whatnot, so you can set them here for now. You can tighten them up if it's too much of a radius, but I'll put them sort of a third of the way. The other thing I like to do here is turn off optimize and put that up to 20 or 30, just so that when we do curve these, it's a bit of a smoother curve. If I put that to 2, you can see it's not so smooth. So play about with that, and you'll get a nice smooth curve. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our object, which is the top one. Let's just call this top to kettle, for example. This is the bottom. Okay. We need to make sure these are all linked together. Otherwise, this is not going to work. It's quite an important part. You could have any sort of shapes in here, really. Yeah. But I'm just going to keep them all very similar. So we'll move that, that's fine. We then pick our top object. We'll then go to Animation, IK Solver. We're going to pick SplineIK Solver. It's going to ask us to pick the joint to complete the IK chain. We're going to pick the bottom one because that's the bottom child there. It's then going to ask us which spline to assign the SplineIK to, and we're going to assign it to the spline we've just previously made. Pick that, and that'll complete your setup there. So you've done most of the hard work. We'll show you quickly what this does. We can lift that from that side, and on the bottom side we have the curves. Nice, good, great. We're there. Just a few things you need to do. We'll pick the first one. That's now on a path constraint. We'll hit follow, untick loop. If it's not where you need it to be, you can slide that to where it needs to be. But we'll put that to 0 because we want it to line up to this dummy. The next thing is we can select our IK chain here, just to show you the settings here. The start object is the top, you can change that. The bottom joint was the bottom here. Then we got gold display. We can kind of change the size of that, but I like to kind of leave that on. Your position constraint is this bottom cylinder here. So from here, if we just kind of come in here, unhide everything on here, what we'll do is we'll then link that to our termination head. This it's totally up to you. We can either keep that linked to here or we can animate that separately. I'll show you what we do here. So we can, animate this and then start animating this independently. And that's as simple as it gets, really. It's a really cool, effective way to, and a quick way, I would say, to animate cable, rope, umbilical, riser, you name it. Yeah, so we can kind of unlink that as well. Then that will be separate to our parent node. So we kind of just alt key that, drop that down to here. Alt key that to the floor. And there's your simple kind of rig that I kind of use on quite a regular basis. Just to show you some other setups I did here. One we've just made. Again, you can make this as long as you want, as short as you want. It's quite a nice effect. It could be a necklace or whatever in your case. In my world, it's a subsea sort of tie-in flow lines, risers. Yeah, this is one with 3 verts as well. It's all animatable. Easy peasy, ready to go. So yes, I hope that helps some of you guys. It's just a quick and dirty way for animating, as I say, these sort of tricky cables, chains, whatever you kind of need to do, necklaces, in just another way using the SplineIK method. Again, please like, subscribe if this has helped you. It kind of lets me help you guys and create more content like this in future. So yeah, boom. See you later.